On today's show,
I want to share with you the 3 most surprising things that nonfiction authors tell me they're surprised to learn when they're writing their first book. In today's episode of Never Write Alone, I'm going to tell you a little bit about the surprising things that people learn when they start writing their first book. Number 1 is that you don't just start writing when you start writing your book. In fact, one of the most important first phases of writing any book is what we call the get smart phase. It's those weeks and months in advance when you're actually out there learning. And that's the most important thing. Don't start from a blank page and then beat yourself up because you don't know what to write. Structure the early time and give yourself a block of time in order to write. Number 2, great nonfiction books are really driven by stories. It's one of the surprising things people learn is that when you deconstruct books from amazing authors, from the Brené Browns, the Simon Sineks, the Adam Grants, they're driven by stories. In fact, 70 to 80% of great nonfiction books are driven by storytelling. And number 3, if you want to write a great nonfiction book, get good at taking notes and documenting what you're learning. One of the most important things is that there's all kinds of things out there, and if you do your job well, you're going to be learning lots of things and curating into what becomes that great book. I had a good chance to talk to Dan Pink, who is an amazing author, a New York Times bestseller for books like Drive and To Sell Is Human, and I asked him a lot about his process, and what he said is he has to give himself the space and the time in order to explore, and that's really what matters long before he sits down on a page. In fact, he may spend 20 or 30 hours researching something for about a small piece that winds up only being a couple paragraphs in a book. Now, that doesn't mean that it's a failure or a waste of time. In fact, that process of learning is really, really important. Now remember, one of the things that I think gets people frustrated when they start writing a book is they open up that blank page and they think, what do I do? What do I say? No one's going to believe me. Instead, don't start from the blank page. Start by learning and gathering, going out and finding things, pulling things from podcasts and interviews and TED Talks. There's a ton of information out there, but focus on the stories. And remember, it's not the fact that you have to write the book. You have to learn the things and share what you're learning, and that's the secret of writing a book. Remember, never write alone. The secret here is having other people around you to help you, and when in doubt, don't write from a blank page. Learn, take notes, and turn those notes into things other people can learn from during your process.